Welcome to VPG's Virtual Water Cooler Chat Podcast, a platform that features professionals across a variety of industries and promotes growth mindset principles with a central pillar of championing the achievements of women. Our conversations explore a wide spectrum of backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives, creating a vibrant mosaic that enriches our collective understanding and strengthens our commitment to growth and empowerment. Today, we are speaking with Michelle Gabellini, an IP paralegal and program manager who has made a career out of turning setbacks into stepping stones. With nearly 2 decades of experience in global technology companies and top law firms, she has led global patent portfolios and innovation programs at companies like Juniper Networks, Plaid, Block, and Capital One, partnering with leadership to strengthen collaboration between legal, business, and engineering teams. Beyond her legal expertise, Michelle champions diversity, equity, and inclusion, creating initiatives that empower women inventors and amplify underrepresented voices in tech. Let's get started.
Hey Michelle, how are you doing?
Hey Ashley, I'm good. How are you doing?
I am good. Look at me, beautiful
I mean,
outside.
so pretty. It's so pretty.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being. Thank you so much for always saying yes. Yes, you've been saying a lot of yes. I know there's some struggle, but I would definitely appreciate you saying yes to a lot of these opportunities as we are leveling up together.
Yeah, I appreciate the push to discomfort. This is
Mm.
this is great. And you know, you've been a real blessing for that.
Well, you've been a real blessing to BPG, so thank you.
Thank you.
So, first thing first, we're gonna dive right in. Can you share your story and 2 fun facts that only your close friends know?
Only my close friend. Well, I grew up in California, mostly a little bit in Oregon when I was really young. My dad was in the U.S. Forest Service, fighting fires, and then later in fire management. But I ended up spending most of my formative years in Nevada City, a little mining town in California. And then I moved to Cupertino to live with my grandmother and was working at a telecom as a client manager. And I was just kind of bored, just not really happy with the job. It was actually too easy, it felt like. And I expressed that to some friends. And one of my friends said, "You should check out being a paralegal. I think you'd be great at that. Why not go see what the program is all about at the community college in our town in Cupertino?" So I went and I liked the head of the program and I thought it was interesting. So I started taking classes and eventually I was close to getting my certificate, and I had been at the company I was at for 5 years and they laid me off. And so it was almost like the push that I needed to finish and really plunge into a totally different career. And so I got an internship that a few months later at Deckert LLP and as an IP lit case assistant, and just started working on litigation right away. And eventually they hired me a few months later. They hired me permanent when I got my certificate. And yeah, I did IP lit for five years, maybe a little longer than that. And then I had some kids and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. There's too many hours. And so I'm working 80 hours a week sometimes. And I went to family law and I really didn't love it. And I thought that I missed IP, but I needed to find a way that I could manage being in IP, but not working like 80 hours a week. And found an in-house position at Rockets Wireless. And that was my first in-house foray. It was a really great place to be. It was a small program and a growing program and just a lot of great people. And then they were acquired and by Brocade. And the day we moved into Brocade, they announced that Broadcom was acquiring Brocade and selling Ruckus. And so I worked on the acquisition for I think almost 2 years, Brocade, and knew I was getting laid off. Knew they weren't going to make a place for me at Broadcom. So I started looking all over the place. I was still in the Bay Area. And I found a job at Capital One and moved across the country to work at Capital One. So now I'm here in Richmond, and it's a great place to be. It's very green compared to California, and it's slower pace, which I do like, and great schools for the kids. So yeah, that's how I got here. Now I'm at Juniper Networks and working for a Bay Area company, remote.
Yes.
So it's just funny how life works out, and all the things that we go through. It's been such a growth journey with so many peaks and valleys and so many great people. Boy, so many touch points and meeting. I've just established such a great network, and yeah, I'm super lucky and blessed.
What are
And
your
two
two fun
things.
facts?
Fun
Two
fact.
fun facts.
I am an excellent personal shopper. If you have like some idea of something you need, but you can't find, I can usually find it. And if it's for you or someone else, I'm good at that. So please come to me if you need anything. And then my guilty pleasure is celeb gossip. I like to listen to the celeb gossip blogs
So
and
what's the latest?
TikTok. Oh God, I don't know. There's always something about Taylor Swift. I guess it's the Blake Lively thing is still going strong.
Oh yeah, oh that
Lots
one.
of, yeah, it keeps me entertained a little bit. So
That's really cool. Your podcast episode is titled, let me see, Setbacks into Stepping Stones.
yes,
Why that title?
I just think that kind of maps my life. I feel like I said, I was laid off from my telecom job and then, but was working on something else. And it's like, it was a setback in that it's never fun to lose a job, but it propelled me forward into this new career. And same with being at Broadcom or Brocade, when Broadcom was acquiring Brocade, I knew I, I was laid off, but it forced me again to start looking and thinking out of the box. And I looked, who would have thought I would have moved across the country and worked for Capital One, but it was such a good experience, such a great team, and it really, I think, shaped further my career. And in personal life, you have setbacks. I've gone through a divorce, and that definitely was tough, but also I feel like it's propelled me forward in ways. So we just have challenges in life, and I think for me, using that moment to figure out where I want to be next has been great. Because sometimes we just get stuck in our lives and in our thing. And if we don't have those things happen, then we
We would
might
never
just
do it.
stay there stuck. Yeah, yeah. So,
I think sometimes complacency. If it weren't,
yeah,
but for those circumstances, we would still be doing whatever that doesn't allow us to actually pivot,
right, right.
right?
And that thing might feel like the best thing ever in that moment. Like I've been very happy at different places, but we don't even know. We need that shove to just be a little
Well,
better, be a little greater, learn a little more.
and I think sometimes I always think that there's always a season for everything. So while it might be the best thing at that time, it might be when things happen, I do believe that things happen for a reason.
Thing.
And then so I think for that, that's why I really love the title Setbacks into Stepping Stones. And I, for one, if it weren't for, I would be totally based on fear of leaning into discomfort. I would almost always try to, oh, I'll just do whatever it is. I procrastinate. There'll be another time. Not really FOMO. So in that sense. So I
Yeah,
thought that that was really good title. So
yeah,
we're
thanks.
gonna talk a lot. We had a couple of, we first met I think on a debt.
Yeah,
One of the all hands quarterly meeting, I think. That was the first time that I had to present.
yes, I remember. Yeah.
Can can you share with me what your thoughts are
Oh my
during
gosh.
that meeting, and then how our we kind of formed a really meaningful friendship based on that. And then you came to our workshop, and then we met at our LB 2024. Let's hear your recollection.
I mean, my memory's not been so great lately. I'm getting
It's okay.
older.
No one's going to rebut you.
But I just remember hearing your story, and it was really interesting to me. And I remember definitely that it made me think like I want to know Ashley. And I think I must have sent a LinkedIn like an invite. I don't even know actually how we got connected, except for I remember seeing you speak. Do you remember? I don't know. Somehow we got connected on LinkedIn, and I saw that you were doing the thing in DC, and having the speakers, and there you were having your event. And
Oh,
it was like, I'm gonna go meet Ashley in person, and these people sound great, and I'd love to see it. So I drove up to DC, and it was really a nice evening. Sometimes it's worth it again, making the
my
drive.
God, you drove from Richmond to DC. That's quite a hike.
It's not about drive, it's just the traffic in DC, right? Like
Oh,
once you
yeah,
get to a certain
exactly.
point.
I applaud you for your dedication.
But yeah, I mean, and I think that was like when we really connected personally, and you invited me to do the workshop, and yeah, it's good things.
And then in 2 days, this third book's coming out.
Oh my gosh, and
I
you
know.
are amazing. I just don't even know how you have the time to do any of this stuff. I'm like,
No, I don't even know either.
it blows my mind. So you've got to have some sort of secret sauce. I
I
don't
don't have
know,
a team, so I
magical
don't do
dust or
everything
something.
myself. The writing, I have people help me with editing, and then so that's that. But what did you think of the workshop experience? Because I think that we had some discussion, and you were the only one out of the VPG team that I actually invited to be one of the facilitator.
Yeah,
And I think yours is on boundary setting.
yes.
Yes. And then, we didn't leave you enough time because that was the last one. So, but I really wanted to hear from your perspective how it was and what did you gain from that,
Well,
if
first of all,
anything.
I just love how you create so many opportunities for everybody, for your people, for me, and knowing that speaking is not my favorite.
Not mine either.
To, again, sort of force challenge me to do more than I'm comfortable with. I appreciate. It was really great to read your book, and I mean, the content and the pictures. I love the illustrations, and I'm particularly partial to the IP related names and references that you gave it. That
Oh,
was really
yeah.
good. And boundary setting, of course, is so important, and it becomes more important as we get older, and as we, grow our network and figure out how we want to move forward in our personal life and our career. And so to focus on that was really great too. So thank you.
No, thank you. So, what are the main differences? So now we're switching back to your career as a IP paralegal. What are the main differences you have noticed between working for law firms and corporations besides the hours? What do you
I
like?
mean,
Pros and cons.
well, working at a firm, and it's mostly task oriented. I guess you're constantly working on things. You have deadlines, you're moving towards and preparing for trial. I never did prosecution in-house. I did do some due diligence work, a lot of due diligence work, but no, just regular prosecution. So it felt like, you had your list of, even though you're managing a case, you have all these things that you're getting done within that, where working in-house feels more broad. Maybe you're given focus areas, and you have to kind of carve out what it is that you want to do in those areas. Like I work on the intellectual property rights for standards, and I do inventor appreciation, so planning events, designing inventor logos, like things that at a firm you would just never do unless you're on some like firm event committee or something.
Oh,
But
marketing.
and part of your job is wrangling people and reaching out to people who you may not in completely different sectors. Like you're talking to someone in finance and you're talking to someone in engineering, and so you get this sort of broad exposure to different people and types and so yeah, it's really different. And sometimes I miss working in a firm, that prepping for trial and that team, and you get together and you're all working towards the same goal, and it's super fun when it's not super stressful, of course. But yeah, I mean, they've both been positive experiences for me. I think at this stage in my life, I appreciate being in-house and having that sort of slower cadence in the work. Yeah.
That's really cool. So we have some mutual acquaintances.
Yes.
Jason Harrier.
Yes.
I interviewed him, I guess, sometime in February. I wanted to say in February in sort of a podcast studio. And I
Yeah.
told him, I said, I'm going to be interviewing Michelle in the studio. And then I guess it didn't work out. But that's why like technology is so amazing, you know?
Amazing. Yeah.
And we could interview anybody that we want to. And or chat, because that's why it's a virtual water cooler chat. But like Jason was saying high praises for you
Oh,
of you. And so now you said that you were also, did you guys overlap during the time at Cap One, or is that
yeah.
another place? Okay.
No, no, he was my manager at Cap One. So
Okay.
I had his manager was my manager when I started. And then and Jason became my manager like a year later or something like
He
that.
is so much fun.
I love Jason.
Yeah, he's so bubbly.
Yeah, he really made working. He was so easy. You have different types of bosses, and I've had a lot of really great bosses. And with Jason, it was just like, hey, I need to ask a question, and he would be right there. Like, and he'd give me my space to grow and do my own thing. But if I needed to bounce something off of him, or he was really good about that. And now we have this amazing friendship, and I'm just so excited for his new venture,
Yeah, I know. IP Copilot.
IP Copilot. He's doing great things, AI. And, like I said, I think, the best network. I mean, maybe you would say you have the best network, but I just love my people so much, and everybody I've come to know, and Jason is a big part of that. So, yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna correct you on that one. I'm not comparing with you because comparison is the thief of joy.
That's true. I
I
just
didn't
show it
come
to
up
my
with it. I don't
kids
know
when
where I
they're
pick it
like,
up.
my kids are fighting over who's better at what. I'll be like, the thief of joy. What are you
Yes,
doing?
comparison is the thief of joy. If nothing that we get from this particular episode, at least we will get that one, hey?
I had an experience where when I had my first baby, I had a baby shower, right? And I invited a lot of people from like Deckard and from all my different law firms and work experiences. And my aunt was like, how do you know all these people? And I was like, I don't know. I just collect them. And I love that. I love all the people.
Yeah, I know. It's like I just keep with the technology, with internet and everything, it's so easy. Like on May 7th, my friend Jane is coming to DC and do that fireside chat. But how
Oh,
often do you have
good.
an Olympian to come and celebrate your fifth anniversary with you and fireside chat with a
Amazing.
PTAP attorney, you know? So that's pretty amazing. And
Yeah,
and
that's
also
great.
like to have a firm that basically help giving you a venue so that they could actually have this event. So I think like there's a lot of really good people in the IP space.
I think so.
And
Yeah, I
so
agree.
I think that definitely needs to be highlighted. I almost want to talk about Petty the Unicorn, the swag.
Oh, did
Is
you
that
get some swag? Did you talk to Brandon or
no, I did not. Brandon does not live far from me.
yes.
And we had coffee one time a while back, but it was from Jason that I learned about Ariana Woods that actually named Patty the Unicorn.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was, oh my God, that sounds super fun.
It was such a fun team and a fun experience. We were flying by the seat of our pants. We had this goal to get to 1,000 patents, and we started off with 140. And we were just me carrying around blow up Patty the unicorn, running around Capital One, trying to get our patent swag and literature in front of whoever we could, just so that they could send us inventions. It was such a crazy time, so many events. And Ariana was very creative, so we had a Plinko board game once. A giant, Price is Right. We had crane claws. I mean, this is the kind of stuff you never do in a firm, right? We had
Oh no.
the crane claws. We had little stuffed Patty the unicorns and a crane claw that game that you could get and all kinds of things we did. It was fun. It was a fun time.
That's awesome. All right. So next, you went to last year's Running Legal Business B.
Yes.
And we ran into each other a couple of times.
Yes.
I'm going back this year and organizing a panel for IP career development. I wanted to kind of get from you maybe a perspective from an attendee. And I think that was the first year. So I wonder if you could have talk about your experience.
Sure. It was a little interesting getting used to that, the quiet, wearing the headphones. Everybody was wearing the
Oh
headphones.
my God, that disco. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
And there's something. Okay. So I was on two panels and I was so super self-conscious. And also that was my very first speaking at the legal conference. So
Okay.
I was like, I'm definitely, I mean, I was a case manager, so everything has to be prepared. I got to go do site visit. So I went to do
Mhm.
site visit. I was like, wait a minute, this is a huge exhibit hall. And there was all this compartment like of this. So how are people going to get I mean, how do they actually separate the conversation and not hearing each other? And then I see all those headphones and I talk to Z. It's like, oh my God, my head is so big. This is not going to look good on my head. And Z and I would joke and we're going to
That
look,
never crossed my mind. Like
as,
everybody looks super fly in their headphones.
our running jokes. Z and I were like, we will look like Teletubbies.
No, no, no.
So eventually we got over it. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. That was
you know.
I still recall how odd that was. I mean, you got used to it, but
That's us.
the
Yeah.
panels were great though. I mean, the different conversations were really interesting. I think yours was on networking. You did too.
So I did too. I was a panelist on IP career.
Okay.
Z was the one that moderating that one. And
Yeah.
then I moderated on brand brilliance. So
Okay.
with Sasha and a
Right.
couple of other people in the IP space to talk about that brand.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really I'm not so comfortable speaking is weird for me, but also LinkedIn and social media is a struggle.
Oh
So
yeah.
I really appreciated that, although I haven't really taken it to heart as much as I would have liked to. But yeah, that was a good panel. I thought they did the one on AI. A lot of the things that they did, it felt like there was a good amount of content for IP. And I think that that can be a struggle when you go to these operations conferences. Sometimes they have two information sessions on IP and everything else is billing and litigation and those kinds of things. So I was impressed with the program in general. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe we'll run into you. Who knows, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. So how can you work from both firm with at both firms and corporations? So you kind of have a you kind of have a different perspective. In your opinion, how can IP practitioners support non-attorneys practitioners?
So how can attorney IP practitioners support non-attorney practitioners?
Yeah, just basically non-attorneys.
Yeah, non-attorneys. I just think understanding the value that we can bring to the table, the legal stuff, it doesn't, I've been to a couple interviews where they've asked me specific things about IP law. What do you like most about IP law? And I just want to make everything function. I want you to be able to find what you need. I want things to flow, and the legal side isn't really my interest. But so I just think if the attorneys can understand how a non-attorney can help make their life easier, and kind of, like you said, give like I said about Jason, give you the space to make that happen, while also giving you the support that you need when you need it to get those legal questions answered, so that the workflow or whatever you're working on makes the most sense. I think that's how we can work best together.
Yeah, I think like titles are not everything. I mean, we all serve our own role and functions in this particular legal ecosystem. And I think that it works best when people are sort of not basically focus on the people and the skill set and growing them where they can, and giving opportunities to people that you kind of least expected would shine. I
Yeah.
think this is one of the things that I really enjoy being out on my own,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
that I don't have to go through a committee. I don't have to go through, there's something to say about that. I don't have to go. I mean, honestly, if I could make it like financially, if I could make it a lot of things, there is something that I really keep it to heart is that there's a marketing guru by the name Seth Godin. He wrote a book on this is strategy, make better decisions. And one thing that he said in his book that really resonated with me is that strategy, what is really important in business is that you have to remember when you run out of time and money, it's game over.
Yeah.
You could sit here and just you could sit here and think about your principle and do whatever it is. Obviously you have to be like integral about what you do. But
Mhm.
if you are like run out of your money and run out of time, you got no more business. And that's
Oh
the
my God.
cold hard truth.
Yeah.
So I really like out of everything from that book, I think that was the one point. Well, there's probably a few points, but that was one thing that really like resonated with me. And so one of the things that I really wanted to make sure is that while I'm giving opportunity to people and myself too, because I think used to self-select and eliminate. Like, oh no, I don't think I can speak there. And this is one of the reasons why I keep being like pestering you. It's like, Michelle, you should do this. Michelle, try that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm that fly. Get this done. So I just thought that I wanted to, yeah, I think people just need to be, and it makes better teamwork.
Mhm. Mhm.
Life is so boring if you just kind of look at everything by the title, and because we are not what we do.
Yeah.
We're people before we are positions.
Yes.
Well, at least to most people. So, what legacy do you hope to create through your involvement with organizations like ADAPT?
Adapt. I I think it's so important, ADAPT's mission, and I just hope that I can make a difference in in not making sure, but enabling more folks to be at the table. And so that the people that should be at the table are at the table and are able to make the difference that they will make, because everybody, we're just, the more voices we have, the better off we are. And I think that Adopt has done a really good job at addressing that issue and making the world a better place.
I wanted to start singing "We Are the World." started, I, I started like bursting into songs from time to time when I talk to people. Not on the podcast yet, but with that, do you have anything else you want to leave with our audience about if you have like two advice for paralegals or aspiring paralegals or people
Right.
that want to enter IP space, what would those advice be?
I think that whatever program that you're in, to find those internships and to make connections with people who are your your teachers, your professors, because generally paralegal programs have folks that are working in the industry. And so if you can get an internship, you can see how the job works. You can see if it's something that you really want to do. If you're and then just be open to different practices, because like I said, I went into family law and it was awful. But I loved IP, but someone else might love family law and not IP. So I would say to be open to try and get an internship through the program, and to listen to those the paralegals that gave me the most guidance when I started out, the the older folks who had been doing it for 15 years and knew every little piece of everything. They're gems. They're the ones that you learn the most from.
That's awesome. Yeah, I recently started teaching some courses online and usually by appointment only. And the last one, and in the past, I would be like finding about 15 million reasons why I should not do that. But then I decided, I'm just gonna do it. I probably can do it in my sleep because I do this all the time, right? The actual work. So the last round that I had was with a firm, and then they had one senior paralegal that was also in their class, and we ended up having. I had sort of like the presentation, but I'm like, I'm not gonna sit here and just go through the presentation slides. So let's go on the portal, and then we're gonna walk through and create a case and figure out exactly how we're gonna do this. And there was so much interaction between me and particularly the senior paralegal, but overall the group, it's around like 9 people, and it was so engaging. At the end of it, she was at the end of it. The that team actually gave me really good compliment, and so I just thought that it was amazing. And she just, you know, and I thought in the back of my mind is like it doesn't matter. The people that I would value the most in terms of opinion is the people that are actually practicing.
Mhm.
And like senior paralegal can be harsh critics,
Yeah.
right? Because we kind of do this for a living. And so I thought that was really awesome. And at the end of it, I also promoted the PTAC Bar Association to them. And I said that even as a non-attorney, you can actually join. And you could join different committees, and then you can network with other practitioners, attorneys or non-attorneys. And then so I think at least one or two of them signed up. So I thought that was really, really major impact. I didn't go out there thinking that I'm going to just push on the bar association membership, but that actually happened. So that was really awesome. So I think that if our ecosystem actually treats people and respect people based on skill sets and their intellectual and sort of intellectual and other practical input, then I think that our space would be so much cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it can be cool, but there's always room, right? To
It is
grow.
what it is. Well, so thank you so much, Michelle. This has been such a fun chat, and I really
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
Thank you for
And
inviting me.
of course, we did it.